Back now with Jason's barn. Jason's had a lot of luck and a lot of great qualifiers, but some great racing on both sides of the border. Adrenaline Rush jogged last week. Now, obviously, Cindy is in charge of Jason's barn here in Canada when Jason is here. Adrenaline Rush looked great racing and winning at Georgian Downs. Better's Hope also looked very good. So Cindy's obviously doing her work well in Canada. Bomb Hugger, top of the class again. Been a while, right? We haven't had a chance to talk to her. I told you guys way back in February this filly felt like a killer, and I didn't want to start her up again until what? June. And we did. 2-year-olds just don't do what she did the other day by herself on a half-mile track. 58 last quarter and 28 flat last half, 56 and 4. Yeah, horses don't generally do that. She was incredible qualifying the other day. Confederate Cruiser, great also. 56 and 4 for him. He looked really, really good. Compass Rose DC, second in 57, but back in 5 days, short call-up after shipping to Scioto and racing in the mud. I think this filly's sitting on a big win, and I suspect it'll be close to coming at the Meadows next Thursday. Duke's Dio trained in 2-2. He trained very good. He'll qualify next Thursday. Kind of short on him, too, coming back in 5 days, but I'd like to get him qualified, give him a week. There's no rush with this guy. There's not a whole lot there for him in the very near future. Just maidens and whatnot. There's some racing later in the summer into the fall for him. So at this point, he's going to play racehorse. He's going to be a utility player for us for a little while. But Duke Dio looking good. He's got a lot of muscle, a lot of weight to put on. And he's just getting started now. Eyes of 10. I know a lot of people are like, well, what happened to this filly? Nothing happened to her. Well, yes, something did happen to her. She was hitting herself when she's going fast, and we had to make some significant shoeing changes with her. Those shoeing changes can precipitate pressure being put on knees in certain places that may soar up. They have not, but in anticipation of that, I didn't want to go any more than 2-2, 2-3 with her. We went a mile and 2-4 last half in a minute, but her confidence will build. You'll see it'll get better and better and better as those front feet start to grow out a little bit. I think you'll see a much better Eyes of 10. She's a good 2-3 weeks of just sheer speed behind those other 3 horses, or those other 4 or 5 fillies, but she'll get there quite quickly. Once we get to that precipice where her shoeing starts to help her and she starts to get really good, I think you'll see it snowball really quickly. You'll see her jump up really quick, just like that. Grace was awesome again, qualifying, jogged in 2-2 in the mud. Really happy with her. Granite Hill, I had one of my partners say, "What's wrong with this colt? What's wrong with him?" There's nothing wrong with him. I've said since January, this is exactly what would take place. You'll see him get gradually better. And in such an incremental fashion that you may not even notice for quite a while. You're not going to see him in a sire stakes. You might not even see him in a Buckeye for a little bit. I'm focusing on the 2022 season with this colt, but I need him to get through the 2021 season and put muscle and speed on, much like we did with Miss Meringue, hopefully with a different result. Well, she might still have a big year, but she's obviously fallen a little bit behind right now. So Granite Hill is doing everything I said he would do, and in the exact same time frame I said it would take place. So Granite Hill, I'm happy with. If people aren't, I suppose that's fine. But again, I would have to chalk that up to expectations, and certainly not Granite Hill. Globetrotting is no longer with Jason. She is in the care of Ron Burke. I guess I got to put him in the small stables too. Ron Burke has Globetrotting now. Can't wait to see this filly race. I was so excited qualifying her the other day. She looked incredible. I don't want to expand on that. I have a lot to say about Globetrotting. Jason's done a great job with her. Kirby, everybody that has anything to do with her has done a great job. But truthfully speaking, she just strikes me as one of the best horses we've ever had. She was simply incredible the other day qualifying. So can't wait to see her race. Gray is a new red. You know, she's on the chopping block to go, and she will eventually. She's just not good enough. And I know a lot of people out there think she's a nice filly, and she's not. But that's not a horrible thing. We need her to be able to do in the class she's in, though. And I know Jason will tell you she's not as good on the front end. And I might have won on the front end, but she wasn't spectacular. The big move she put for Luke Ebersol 2 weeks ago looked good. And then again, followed in 55 the other day from behind. On the front end, she's just a bit of a coward. Following horses, she's much better. So we'll try and get her back in the class where she was 3-5 last night. Put her in a position to do well, and then go from there. And there are fairs coming up too. Do I think she doesn't want to hook onto that crew that Well and Down was in with, but there are other fillies that go there also. Hope Surprise is not with Jason anymore. Hill of Magic is. Hill of Magic's qualifier was a bit of an enigma. I thought she went good, but the line didn't show as much as I expected it to. I think this filly will come forward in a big way quickly. I really think this is sire stake filly. I guess judging by the line, it was disappointing the other day. Justin was happy with her. I thought her hobbles were too tight. They need to go out a little bit. So we'll work on her, but I still, although I don't have the supporting evidence on paper, I do believe this is a sire stake filly. I'm a Lovely Lady is a Buckeye filly, and she has had a great year. Man, it's going to be fun to race her all summer. She is a lot of fun to race, and I cannot wait to get going with her. Luck of the Dragon, for those of you out there looking at him, trained great the other day by himself, 59. I told you guys he was a few weeks behind because of that pallet, but now I see the horse starting to creep back that we had seen. It was so weird to see a horse that we thought so highly of just look awful training, and then we found out what the problem was. It's so odd because he wasn't making a noise. For those of you that are horsemen out there and say, well, you must have been able to hear him make a noise, he never did ever make a noise. He just had an entrapment. It was stuck, and they cleaned it up, trimmed it up, fixed it up, and he trained great the other day. That's as good as he's been in a long time the other day training. Massive Profit will race Monday. I got to be honest, I think I should have maybe communicated with Irv a lot more. The first stake race in Indiana is not until July 16th, so I didn't expect almost a month before that they'd start writing 2-year-old races. No other track has really written 2-year-old races outside of the Meadows thus far. And Pennsylvania's always a little bit earlier, right? Their stakes start 2 weeks earlier than Indiana. So we had entered Massive Profit in the maiden here on Monday. He got in, and then I said to Jason, we'll race this guy once and we'll send the pair of them out to Indiana. Irv calls me and says there's a mini-series on Friday for those trotters. And I said, well, the one's already in Monday. That's fine. We'll send them out there on Tuesday. Spence ready to go. Massive Profit will go on Monday. And then their year will commence in Indiana in the Hoosier State. Matt's MVP qualified twice now. Looked good both times. He's got a first and a second. He'll be heading into the first Buckeye here on July the 7th, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Miss Meringue is back training now. Jason said she trained better the other day, so I'm happy to hear that. Mama Knows Best is going to take a rare trip to Pennsylvania in the non-winners of 3 on winners of not more than 3 on, or maybe it's 4, I'm not sure, on Thursday, but I suspect she'll trot 56 over the Meadows, no problem. Miss Brampton Beast races tonight at Georgian Downs. I suspect she'll be good. My Jazz, we've gone on and on and on and on and on about My Jazz. You can see it in multiple videos. In a perfect world, I would be able to jog her, maybe even turn her and go a slow mile Tuesday at the Meadows, bring her back home with us when we bring our 2-year-olds home that qualify for the Meadows, and then start forward with her. Will she qualify on the Thursday? That all depends on what takes place on Tuesday. So we will see. Of Tom qualified, fantastic. We're looking at maybe Scioto Thursday for a maiden trot for her, a 2-year-old. They might fill a 2-year-old trot, maybe. We'll see this week and see what happens with her. 1-2 Skip a Few qualified great. I thought she won the little bugger. But you can see she's got grit. She's tough. She'll be doing the fair circuit this year in Ohio Fair and Buckeye Circuit. For those of you wondering, is she a grand circuit, like a sire stake filly? I don't think so. And I don't want to break her spirit. She's a gritty little bugger. We'll probably keep her right in the Buckeyes for a while. Prairie Fire, I think, has done enough, especially after his last qualifier, to make me believe that he maybe could be headed to the sire stakes. He's tough and fast. He's a good horse. He won wrapped up the other day under some odd circumstances. Go back and look at a couple of videos I did about Prairie Fire and what he went through, even on qualifying day. Procrastinator was good. I told everybody again, we talked about this a number of times, Procrastinator and Confederate Cruiser will race together because I wasn't going to roll the dice and risk not being able to race Procrastinator this week if it didn't fill in Scioto. So we're going to race him out of the 7-hole at Northfield Park on Wednesday against his stablemate from the rail, Confederate Cruiser. Purple Aura, Wednesday at Northfield Park. Again, I don't want to risk not being able to race this filly. She deserves a chance to prove herself. Wednesday she'll get that chance. And if Of Tom doesn't get in Thursday at Scioto, we may have to requalify her because I don't know they're going to ride a maiden later in the week. Rose Above It will be back in next week. Man, can't wait to race this horse. He is a nice colt. But he is not at Jason's barn anymore, so we'll take him off that list. Rose Run Why Not was training good. We'll try and get her back going real soon. I think he trained her last week. They're both starting to train a little quicker. Still going to be a few weeks with these guys, but we'll see. Spend That Money's racing at Grand River. This is a filly that had a lot of good starts stolen from her from the lockdown. There was some great news coming out of the lockdown, I guess, as best as they can. With Tanzanite Tricks, really used that time to mature a filly. Clearly turned into a nice filly, whereas it really hurt horses like Can't Muscle Me and Spend That Money. Hopefully Spend That Money can pick her dress up and get going this week. We'll see. Sweet on Pete trained awesome. Another filly that I think easily could be a sire stake filly. I think very highly of this filly. Tanzanite Tricks, we just talked about her. She jogged at Mohawk the other night. Moves up a class now, but still a real threat in that type of setting. And lots of earning potential in that non-winners of 2 straight into the non-winners of 3 grouping. It goes by money in Ontario. It doesn't just go by wins. So it's non-winners of 2 or 20 plus allowances. She can make like 30 grand in there before she has to leave. That's my girl, non-winners of 2. I'm really interested to see how this filly races this week. I was so impressed with her last week. Jason's done a great job getting her under control, keeping her subdued. Very, very happy with her. 3 Point Blue Chip has been training down great. I know a lot of people. I'm glad. Now that the emails have lessened. Where's 3 Point? Where's 3 Point? Where's 3 Point? I thought it was going to be a hashtag on Twitter at one point. Relax. 3 Point Blue Chip. We have a timeline in place for him. I have stakes that I'm looking at for him, but it will be up to him. He'll race when he's ready. I'm not going to go through the situation where we train him down and find out he's not ready maturity-wise, either mentally or physically. He's close. He's very, very close. But I'm not going to push him until he says he's ready. Twinbe Habanero's been training. We're going to continue with him. Again, another horse, big colt. We're not going to drop the hammer on him until he wants it dropped. And that will be soon, but not yet. You got to believe 2 minutes the other day. Big mile from old Leafer. He'll be in to go at the fair in Marion. Almost for sure he'll be going to the fair first. Unbeatable Kemp Tuesday at the Meadows is where you're going to see Unbeatable Kemp show up. Yay. He trained great this week too. Little hot, a little bothered in his qualifier, his last qualifier, but we'll rectify that this week at the Meadows. Voyage of Ice and Fire, can't wait. He's going to race in 2 hours. He's warming up right now at 4 o'clock. I'm going to go last trip with Kemp at 5 bells. I'm going to go with him and then hope for some good luck and race 1 at Northfield Park. There anymore. West 52nd is not in Jason's barn yet. He's still in Tim's barn. But since I didn't mention him in Tim's barn, I will mention him in Jason's. There's always horses moving back and forth there. West 52nd was supposed to be coming back here. Did not. Raced at the Meadows the other day. I thought he raced great. I'd like to see him back in there again this week, actually. I thought he raced really well. He will eventually make his return to Ohio, whether it be Northfield Park or Scioto. Lots of racing for this guy, and looked impressive. He was exactly how I remembered him. It was like he never left the other day. It was the exact same horse. So Jim has him in good shape and looking good. And I expect we're going to have good things. As long as you take care of that horse and drive him in the right manner. He can be shallow sometimes, but if you drive him in the right manner, he'll race good for you. I suspect we have a good summer moving forward for West 52nd. Now, if I forgot your horse or made a mistake, I apologize. Who are the horses? Tie One On is supposed to be in this group also. Tie One On. She's going to actually qualify at the Meadows with Tim on Tuesday, but she'll be in Jason's care until then. Who are the other? Amor Diener. We didn't talk about Amor Diener. He trained awesome the other day in 59, last half 58. He will not be going to the Meadows. I got to call Tim and make sure he doesn't put him in. He'll maybe go to Northfield Park Thursday or the Meadows the following Tuesday. He's ready to go. We'll continue to work on his blood and get it proper. We do have time to get it right, but it's going to be, there's a timeline there. It's going to be a push. And there's one other horse for sure. Amor Diener. Who's the other horse that came over? Ollie Dio, Amor Diener. Was going to Pennsylvania. Oh, Slim Jimmy. He's not on here. Slim Jimmy trained great the other day also. I talked about him in a couple of videos. A little bit of an enigma there, but we will get Jimmy squared away and figure out what's up with Jimmy very, very soon. But speed-wise, he's ready to rock right now. So that is Jason's barn. That's all your barns. It's all your videos. Lots of talking this week. I had a great week. I was super pumped. I hope you are too. Talk to you all very, very soon. Take care.